Kia ora team, and welcome to Big Boys Boxing, where we're all about exactly that. The big boys. With big knockouts. And the big fights. So let's get into this.
What's going on, team? Welcome back to Big Boys Boxing. I'm Jono, your host, and as per usual, we'll get a few things sorted out before we start here. First things first, to go and grab a link for y'all. If anybody might like to jump on, they can do so. That's the link to join. And I can't pin it from here. Oh yeah, I can't. Pin message. Link to join, that should be it. Let me click on it and see what happens. Maybe I messed that link up actually. I'll redo that. Redo that, team. I think I messed it up. Huh. Okay, we'll try this. Can't delete messages and shit there. Alright, we'll just try post it again. Hopefully it's the right link. We got some big news to talk about, team. We do got some big news. Okay. Post that link and pin that one. Yeah, that's right. I didn't mess that one up. Where's paste? Oh, no, we want pin. Dumb. No, didn't want to click on the link. Oh, man. No, get out of there. There we go, pin message. That's it. Alright, we got it sorted. So, team, we have this card has been announced. The day of reckoning, the 23rd of December, we have 8 fights on the card, 6 of them are heavyweights, and I want to break down some of the style matchups, 5 of them in particular. You might be thinking, yeah, there's only really 4 competitive fights, but I think for the 5th one as well, there is something to look into. Now, just let me get into the Discord panel myself, make sure I'm in there. Mic check, yep, I am in there, not deafened, so I should be able to hear all this jazz. Just let me double check this. I had an issue with my outputs not working quite right. That's that output device. I need to make sure it's on that one. So let me click this. Yep, sweet. The sound's coming through in the right place. That's good. Right, so I am in the channel. Let me get out of this. Click on the X, dummy. Alright. We're in the channel. And everything's working tickety-boo. So we're gonna get into these fights. We've also got the announcement that Tyson Fury and Olexander Usyk will be fighting on the 17th of February next year for Undisputed. Nothing else announced for that card, but we are finally, after 24 years, going to get an Undisputed heavyweight fight again. That is great news. Alright, so let's get that off there. Let's get into these fights, y'all. So the first heavyweight fight on the card is this one. Philippe El Animal Hrgovic taking on Mark, what did he call himself? The Destroyer? Or something like that. Demore. We haven't heard of this guy for years. He was a no-name bodybuilder who learned how to fight off YouTube, and he was the victim for David Hayes' comeback when he was coming back before he fought Tony Bellew. He got blown out in less than a round. Yeah, he's been fighting in obscurity, fighting people that you'd never heard of. The one you might have heard of, he had a draw with, and Alex Leopai, a well shop-worn Alex Leopai, but he's got a Croatian wife and he lives in Croatia. He's Australian originally, but maybe this is the reason. It's for Croatian fans. Maybe the Croatian boxing fans know who Mark Demore is, but it's a trash fight. I know Filip Hrgovic is in a IBF mandatory position, so he doesn't want to take much risk, but this is freaking ridiculous. If he wanted a tick-over fight, he could have had a Curtis Harper or Derek Chisora, who he hasn't fought, or he was showing interest in wanting to be on this card, or there's so many easy pushovers he could have fought. Shit, Christopher Lovejoy is better than Mark Demore. So, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. If Mark Demore gets out of the first round, it's a loss for Filip Hrgovic. That's the way I'm looking at it. So, I imagine the Saudis are potentially covering their ass if Anthony Joshua beats Otto Wallin and takes that number 2 position, and we get the Undisputed fight in February. The rematch clause gets activated. That's when the IBF will instantly strip whoever's holding the belt, and Hrgovic will be taking on the number 2, whoever that will be in the IBF at the time. So, if Joshua wins, he's in a position. Now, Riyadh season doesn't finish till, I think it's March or April. Might be April or May even. So, there is still potential for another big card after the Undisputed card as well. Right? So, it's possible they could be trying to cover their ass for Joshua v. Hrgovic as a big event at the end of Riyadh season for the IBF title. So, anyways, that's what I think about that. Yes, there is the potential of Wilder Joshua after these fights if they win, but we know how the negotiations have gone with that over the years. It's never happened, so it makes sense for Eddie Hearn to cover Joshua's ass if he can't get whatever to work to get Joshua and Wilder in the ring, then Joshua's got another avenue. He can take the IBF route to try and get a belt again instead of fighting Wilder. So we'll just get to that later on. So we're going through these fights. The next one is this one. Frank Sanchez and Junior Fa. I expect Frank Sanchez to win this, but I've seen something that I don't know if anybody else noticed. I've been speaking to the boys about it on Discord a little bit, and Frank Sanchez is a very good counterpuncher. We saw that against FA Jug, but that's pretty much the only world level fight we could take much from for Frank Sanchez. But I did notice in his last fight, because he'd been how do I put this, kind of haggled by his promoter. You got to be more exciting, otherwise you're not gonna get good fights. Your stock isn't going to go up. Fans aren't going to be calling to watch you fight, because they're going to sleep a little bit. So against what was his name, Scott Alexander was his last fight. He was trying to put the pressure on and be aggressive. It really looked forced to me. His combination punching wasn't great. It seems like he doesn't have the ability to make openings for him to land his punches. He's much better at counter punching when someone's coming forward at him. So we all know Junior Fa lost a horrible fight to watch with Joseph Parker. Junior was spoiling and Joe was smothering himself. It was horrible. Then Junior went on a card in Aussie. I believe it was Haney v Cambosis 1, maybe? Might have been 2, I'm not sure. And he fought old boy Lucas Brown at 43. He's pretty short, but we know he can still punch if he can land, old Lucas Brown. So Junior, I was listening to a lot of his pre-fight conversations. He was talking about how he wants to make a statement and try to be more aggressive and blah blah blah. He was supposed to go in there and look good against an old Lucas Brown, but he got caught with an overhand right, put him on his ass. He almost spasmed out while he was trying to get up off the canvas. He did manage to get up, beat the count, and Lucas Brown swarmed him and smacked him with another big overhand right, which hit him directly in the back of the head, and he went down and the fight was over. Apparently they did try to appeal that decision because of the shot in the back of the head, but it was a fight. It was made at the time. It was all over. First round stoppage, and we don't expect too much from Junior Fa. I think he's had one comeback fight, and it was a guy in New Zealand who hasn't won a professional fight or some crap. Let me just quickly look. Junior Fa, there he is. Junior Fa. Yeah, this guy, he was 0-6. Tusi Asafo, the guy who he fought, and it's nothing to write home about. But there's two facts there that Frank Sanchez, I think, isn't that great on offense. Junior's going to have slight height and reach advantage. 6'5" v 6'4". I'm not sure on the reach. I think Junior's about 80 inches and Frank's about 78 or 79. But Junior usually hangs behind a jab. He's quite a scary fighter. He's been flattened in the past. We saw Dominic Gwynn flatten him once, and then Junior got up and won the rest of the fight. That was the only round Gwynn won, but he went down hard, man. So he knows very well that he hasn't got a very good chin. But in the first part of his career, up until he took his first loss, he only had that one knockdown against Dominic Gwynn, and he fought very scary, And I think because he knew he doesn't have a great chin. Now, Frank Sanchez, with the lack of ability on defense, on offense, in my opinion, coupled with the fact that Junior Farr may try and pick a poke from the outside and be defensive, I think this fight might go the distance. It might be a stinker. Now, I know everybody thinks that Frank Sanchez should blow Junior Farr out of there. And if Junior Farr tries to be aggressive, I think it's quite possible that, yes, he will get blown out. But if he fights defensive, tries to pick and poke and go for a points decision, we could have a real stinker. Shit, Junior might even pull it off. But that's a pretty low reality. I just think it was worth mentioning because I think the fight is going to be boring. I think Junior has the potential to make Frank Sanchez look one-dimensional. As long as he's not too aggressive. If he tries to win the fight round by round, yeah, it could be a real stinker of a fight. But, yeah, interesting. Right, a quick roll call for y'all. We have Phil Carl Roberts in the house. Good to see you in, man. We have a Darian as well. Is that us? We got Dari. Yep. That's us for now. PCR and a Dari. Alright. So we shall move on to our next fight. Over to my software and we go. This fight here. Arslanbek Makhmudov is taking on Ajit Kabayal. I'm just looking at my stream and it doesn't seem to have the right picture on. What the fudge? Let me double check. Oh no, it's got the right one up on my other one. So it must be, I don't care. It's just showing the wrong shit on my screen, but I look at my phone and it's fine. Anyway, so Arslanbek Makhmudov, the Ajit Kabayal. It could also be an interesting fight. Ajit Kabayal, he's a pretty solid boxer all round. He's okay on the inside, he's okay outside, he's got reasonable movement, he's okay with that. He doesn't have a lot of power, but he has enough to... he's a heavyweight, you know. It's not like he's Solomon Dakis. I'm sure he hits harder than Solomon Dakis, because that dude, he couldn't knock the skin off a rice pudding, as Boxing Squared would say, but I'd say he couldn't knock out a wank. So, yeah. Arslanbek Makhmudov has been more active as well. That's a big contributing factor. He's an inch taller than Ajit Kabayal. Just trying to bring up some history for Kabayal because he's only been really fighting once a year. And holy shit, is that one not on here? On it, Joe Pataya. There it is. Arslanbek Makhmudov and Ajit Kabayal. So Kabayal is 23-0 with 15 knockouts. The only real notable win to anybody who's half a boxing fan is his win over Derek Chisora, and that was a fair while ago. Where are we? I'm just trying to find that fight. Where is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fights ago. That was way back in 2017. He had one fight in 2018 Melvin Rov Cannon, I know that dude. There's someone in the... There is. We have the Tekafo with us. How are you, mate?
I'm doing well, mate. How are you? Are we live?
We are live, buddy.
World.
Yeah. I've just gone over the first two fights, which were the one we're not mentioning with Hrgovic and Demori. And I gave a quick style breakdown of my thoughts about Junior Farr and Frank Sanchez. Pretty much what I'd spoken to you about over the weekend. Saying there's potential, I think, for Junior Farr to spoil and make Frank Sanchez look bad, and my thoughts on Frank Sanchez offense and whatnot. But so if you've got anything to add on, mention about those fights, now's the time before we get into this other one.
Okay. I mean, I guess my question would be, what do we think Junior Farr has got by way of offense? What do we rate him as?
Yeah, well, that was another point I was making. He's usually a pretty scary fighter, and he pokes and prods with the jab and maybe land a right hand if he's gathered the confidence through a round. But you won't see a lot of offense from Junior Farr at world level. Maybe at domestic New Zealand level or Australasian level, you might see him be a bit more aggressive. But I don't think he will be aggressive in this. I think he'll try and fight from range and pick and poke. But
that was my kind of feeling, that his CV's a bit thin on wins against good names.
Oh, very thin. Very thin.
And the people who've beaten him, I'm more of a Lucas Brown fan than most on this channel, but it didn't look good being wiped out.
Not at all. I'm just looking into Junior Farr's records. Off the top of my head, he's fought a couple of times in the States. Right, so yeah, the last guy I'd already spoken about, this Tusia Suffle, waste of time, but it was a comeback fight. Then there was Lucas Brown knockout before that. Before that was the Joseph Parker fight. He lost that on points. Horrible fight to watch.
It was a horrible fight, but it was a lot closer, I think, than the scorecards suggested.
Well, didn't they? I can't even remember the scores. I only watched it live, and I've never watched it again on net. You know, but did they have it quite wide? Did they?
I thought a couple of the judges had that, just from memory. I thought a couple of them had it quite wide, and to me, there was so little good, clean work from either fighter that it couldn't be wide.
Yeah. So we're back into Junior Farr's record here. We've got Devin Vargas was the one before that. We know Devin Vargas, he's pretty much a top-level journeyman, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah, he's got a level. He's tallish. He's had some Olympic experience, hasn't he?
Yeah, I believe he was. I think it was him. It was an Olympian. It's either him or Scott Alexander, one or the other. But they're about similar level. So, before that was the Dominic Gwynn fight, where he got flattened in one round there, but he won every other round. Nufa Oata, that's not worth mentioning that name.
I just guess he's too low on offense, and he's got a question mark hanging over his chin. If the real Frank Sanchez turns up, I think he'll make quite quick work of him.
Well, he could. I think Junior does actually have a little bit of pop if he can land a good counter shot when Frank's coming in and maybe get some respect before he gets caught. Then maybe it'll turn into a chess match. But if Sanchez does attack Junior and land something and gets that, you know, the reaction, like my legs are a bit rubber or I'm stumbling a little bit, it could be over real quick. Yeah. Junior's the type of guy, he's quite reserved. He's not that outgoing when it comes to being in front of cameras and all that shit. So the big knockout from Lucas Brown would have done some psychological damage that would possibly linger I imagine. So we'll see how scary he's going to fight. I think that's going to be a big teller for that one. Basically how long it'll last, but if I'm a betting man, I'll be looking at odds for Junior Fa to go the distance. Just for the fight to go the distance on that one. It's not really worth betting on anything else, is it?
So you've yet to review the three kind of biggest fights on the card?
Yeah, I was just starting into Makhmudov versus Kabayel.
Okay.
Where are we? Arslanbek Makhmudov v Ajit Kabayel. And I was saying, we've seen plenty of Makhmudov on TV. He's active enough. We haven't seen squat from Ajit Kabayel since that Derek Chisora fight. So he seems to have been sitting on that win, got a ranking in the top 15, and he's been sitting waiting, hoping for a champion to pick him for a voluntary defense. But it hasn't happened, so he's been chucked in here against Arslanbek Makhmudov. And I was saying, Ajit Kabayel was pretty solid all around. He's not really great at doing anything, but he's not that bad at everything at the same time. He can move and box a bit. He can spoil inside. But at the same time, we haven't seen him against a big, tall power puncher. So it's quite possible that he might get blown out. But the general consensus, I think, is that Makhmudov's going to knock him out. What are your thoughts, Tekaphobe?
From what we've seen of Makhmudov, he seems to have a very strong chin. And I don't know if Kabayel's got enough to bother him. And if Kabayel doesn't have enough to bother him, Makhmudov can make free with his defense.
He can indeed.
I guess that's how I see it. I've followed a couple of social media posts about Kabayel, and he's over the last couple of years he's still posting videos about training. So he hasn't, just been sitting on a beach. But we haven't seen him in a while. We haven't seen him against anybody really good. I wonder if he's going to. I predict Makhmudov's going to win.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking Makhmudov will probably win it too. I have no doubt that the boxing skill advantage definitely will go to Kabayel. I mean, the bear is pretty loose and ragged with the big wide punches most of the time. Doesn't really jab much. His feet are slow as hell. But if he hits you, you're in trouble. So,
I think back to the way Kabayel struggled with Chisora. I mean, he won it on points. But for my money, it was very close. I don't think he can have felt confident in that win. And I think Makhmudov at this stage is ahead of Chisora just by sheer size, power.
Yeah. Yeah, if he struggled with Derek Chisora, who's actually a pretty decent pressure fighter, but he's only 6'2". This dude's 6'5", and he's a marauder, isn't he?
I just think Makhmudov is very strong. He hits very hard. I mean, apart from Takam, I don't know who the good names on Makhmudov's CV would be, but if Kabayel hasn't got enough power to trouble Makhmudov, I think Makhmudov would just ignore what's coming from Kabayel and just steam through him.
Yeah. Walk through the punches and bludgeon him until he don't stand up no more.
Takam managed a few big rights on Makhmudov, and it didn't really seem. It's hard to tell when he's been buzzed or whether it's his nervous tick with his neck that he has.
Yeah.
But I didn't notice anything extra when he got hit by Takam.
No. So a quick look through Makhmudov's record. We got this Junior Anthony right. That was a last minute filler fight. It was a waste of time. Who's this? Rafael Akbajuri. That dude was gash. Michelle Wallace, the guy who will fight for a round, or one of the guys who will fight for a round or two until he gets hurt, and then it's over. It was over in one round, that one. Carlos Takam was the fight before that, and he went the distance. So I know styles make fights and whatnot, but Takam is pretty crafty. He is older, he is on the slide, but would you put Ajit Kabiel as a better fighter than Carlos Takam right now?
It is a really good question. In that Kabiel hasn't fought, he shouldn't be, but on what he has done in the past, that win over Derek Chisora is a better win, I think. And Takam's got Yoka on there recently. I think Takam's on the slide now. I haven't seen Kabiel, so it's a qualified answer.
Okay.
I'll put him on a similar sort of level.
Yeah, I was about to say that exactly. I think they're a similar sort of level. But I think probably Takam has better survival skills. But like you say, we haven't seen Kabiel really on TV for about 5 or 6 years, so it's hard to know.
Against Derek Chisora, I think he could have upped his work rate more. So I just wonder, with Makhmudov leaning on him and breaking his arms, Makhmudov seems to have quite a good arm grab.
Well, there you go. To me, it sounds like it's probably going to be in the first 3 rounds, Makhmudov will try and bludgeon him. And if he can't bludgeon him, he'll probably take a couple of rounds to slow it down. And then he'll come again and try and make sure that Kabiel's broken down enough to get bludgeoned once he's filled his gas tank up a bit. So, looks like a knockout or a knockout.
Yeah, I would think so, but all of these fights, none of them are absolutely straightforward.
No. So, if we were to put it in perspective, into a percentage, I would say 80-20 fight just for the win for Makhmudov, and I still reckon there's a 70% chance that he's going to knock Kabiel out. So, how would you put it in percentages?
I'd probably say 70-30 to Makhmudov, and if Makhmudov wins, knockout is a large part of that.
Okay. Yeah.
I think if Kabiel wins, it's more likely to be points.
Indeed. I think if he did that, he'd have to have a high output for the whole fight to counteract the effectiveness of the heavier punches from Makhmudov. He'll have to be moving a lot. And that is a point, actually. Junior Fard did fight Aslanbek Makhmudov in the amateurs, and at this stage Junior was a lot younger and moving a lot more. Makhmudov really did have problems with somebody who moves, and Kabiel does have that ability, but I don't know if he's going to have the ability to do it for 12 rounds against somebody who punches that damn heavy. So, we'll see. Interesting fight, though.
A lot depends on the condition. That we haven't really seen. I've seen Kabiel fight in a couple of fights, and it hasn't looked good. But very rarely he's fought. So, a bit of an unknown quality.
Indeed. Alright, so I'll get my image. We'll move on to the next one. The next one is, we're getting into the meaty ones now. Jarrell Big Baby Miller taking on Daniel the Quitter Dubois. This is, I can't believe Frank Warren has done this, coming off a loss by knockout for Daniel Dubois. Maybe Frank's had enough. It was supposed to be his cash cow before Joe Joyce beat him. I think that pissed him off. Built him up again, got him back into a position, got him to that WBA mandatory spot, and got knocked the hell out. So he's had enough. He's thrown him in there with the big pharmacy. How do you think this one's going to go, Tekaphobe?
I'd also, just in the defence of Daniel Dubois, add in he got that regular belt, didn't he, off Trevor Bryan?
He did. That's what got him the mandatory position while they were trying to dissolve the belt.
So I call this a real 50-50. Both men can bang. They've both got pop. I don't think Daniel's chin is really the problem. I'm not even going to say heart. he needs what I notice most. I'm sorry if I'm avoiding the question, Jono. Terrible guest. He to the corner when he's in trouble. He looks to the corner. So I would want him either to be more self-sufficient, or to be taught or able to be more self-sufficient, or have a corner with somebody like Don Charles in there that shows him some love and that sort of, rather than shout at, encouraging. Yeah.
Indeed.
What was the question that I've avoided? Sorry, Johnny.
Just how do you think the fight in general will go?
So they both bang. Miller's gas tank seems unstoppable. He's not pleasant to watch. He's just comes forward at you, keeps coming, cuts off the ring better than he looks like he does with his sort of fat waddle steps.
Indeed.
And he just fires a sort of constant barrage of shots at you. Maybe no one particular shot with lethal power.
Yeah.
Dubois, he's got power. He's got boxing skills. If he could see a really good sports psychologist, I think that would really help him. I see it as an absolute 50-50. Probably not go the distance. Somebody knocks somebody out. But, 50-50.
Yep. As boxing fans, that's what we want, really, isn't it? Doesn't matter the level. If the fight's competitive, that's what we want. We want to watch competitive fights that are going to tell us something, not predetermined fights that fight's been made. We know who's going to win, but we'll just watch it anyway. Yeah, like you say, it's a great fight. Both guys have power in their own respective ways. Daniel definitely has one punch power. Jarrell Miller, he's an accumulator. He'll stick to you like fly on shit all night. I thought maybe once he got off the peds that maybe we'll see a different style from him. But he still seems to have the amazing gas tank at this point, to a degree. I watched his first, I think it was his first comeback fight against Ariel Bracamonte. I believe that went the distance, and it went... I thought Jarrell would slow down. You could see he was looking tired, but when you throw as many punches as Jarrell Miller does, you're going to get tired whether you're fit or not. So, yeah, I think it's either going to be early on, Daniel's going to get some respect or a knockout within the first four, or he's going to get steamrolled in 8 or 9. He's going to get just steamrolled with a lot of hooks in close. Jarrell uses all of those short hooks, the body work, the over the top with the right hand seems to be one of his favourite shots at the moment. Personally, I can't see Daniel Dubois beating him, but he does have that one punch power. Not quite the equalizer like Wilder. He could definitely do something to Miller. We haven't seen Miller in there with really heavy punches that I can think of the top of my head. Let me see if I can just quickly look at his record again to see. I've never seen him hurt. Have you ever seen him hurt?
No.
No.
He takes a few, but I've never seen him look at all buzzed. He's got okay defense. It's weird how he doesn't get hit more.
Yeah, I think that having pretty much no neck, and we were talking about it over the weekend, he seems to come forward with his arms kind of in the way, but he sort of sucks his head into his shoulders, and you know, his head doesn't move much when he gets hit because there's nothing there. But that Lucas Brown fight was really fun to watch, and Lucas can bang. He was landing some bombs on him, and it still didn't do shit. So
it was a great fight. I think Lucas Brown, there are a lot of haters, but he's always an entertaining fight, so I stick up for Big Dan.
yeah, I think a lot of why people don't like him is his personality, but popping dirty for drugs twice is going to stick to you for the rest of your career as well, so it is what it is. So yeah, it's a real good fight, Daniel Dubois, and Jarrell Miller. It's a pity Daniel Dubois can't talk a bit better, because that press conference was fire. With Jarrell Miller's the man when it comes to trash talk. I hope he gets to fight Tyson Fury one day. Can you imagine the trash talk pre-fight for those two? It's going to be fun.
Yeah, again, that would actually be a great fight. It's a really good point you raised. We don't know the depth of his chin, but he got hit by Big Daddy and not even seemingly that worried. His pace doesn't seem to alter that much.
No.
He's like a Duracell, you know.
Yeah, just keeps coming, and even when he's tired, you can see there's not as much on the punches, but they just keep coming. And when the opponent's tired as well, it's real damage, man.
I'd like to see Dubois box. I'd like to see Dubois try and stay lively and light, and try and hit and not get hit, at least for the first few rounds.
Yeah, that would be smart. Use his feet, because Fat Boy ain't going to move too fast, is he?
He's sort of got. He's not light on his feet. He just plods forward in the direction, but he plods forward quite well. He times his plod better than some. You know when Derek Chisora has been really beaten up and he's plodding forward to his opponent.
Yeah.
It's completely predictable, and if the opponent wants, they can wheel away or judge the distance. Miller's a little bit more good plodding.
Yeah.
Poor description, sorry.
No, I get what you mean. Yeah, the big difference is sometimes you can get respect from Derek when he's coming in, if you can catch him, but like I say, I haven't seen anybody get any kind of respect from Miller as he's trying to come in. He's been popped plenty, but yeah. No respect for nothing.
Going back to Psyche, he's not afraid. He was going to fight Joshua when Joshua was, king of the hill.
Yeah.
And he's happy to trash talk and actually happy to have the fight with other champions he's calling out. I don't think he's worried. He is 35 now, so it's his time to shine if he's going to.
Indeed. Yeah. It's getting to the end of the road. You've got about 3 to 4 years left, Jarrell, and maybe all those years of PED use might catch up with you.
You have to worry, don't you?
Yeah, indeed.
Fade faster, sort of thing.
Yeah. All right, we done with that one. We're going to move on to the next one.
I just had he was in poor condition last time. Come on, big baby. You could be an even better boxer. Yeah.
It's hard to tell from the press conference whether he was in any kind of shape. It's really hard to tell with him full stop. But yeah, I imagine he's still going to come in at least 280 pounds. We'll see. Anyway, we'll move on to this next one, which is... Anthony Joshua and Otto Wallin. So, Otto Wallin, as we know, has the number 2 IBF position at the moment. Filip Hrgovic is in number 1. And the story goes, when Fury and Usyk fight on the 17th of February, if the rematch clause is activated by the loser, the IBF will strip the winner, and the next 2 available ranked opponents will fight for the IBF title, being Anthony Joshua and being Filip Hrgovic and the winner of Anthony Joshua and Otto Wallin. So Otto's been chasing this fight for years. He took a couple of losses to Anthony Joshua in the amateurs. They sparred a bit as young pros. I think Wallin was helping Joshua prepare for his first title attempt against Charles Martin. And that was the last time they sparred. So, Anthony Joshua, we had the talk of the Deontay Wilder fight when it was Skills Challenge running the Saudi events, but they got dumped and Prince Turki Al-Ashik got put in there, and seems Frank Warren's weaseled his way into his pocket and he's the go-to man for the Saudi fights now, even though there's bugger all Queensbury fighters on this card. So it is what it is. Anthony Joshua taking on Otto Wallin. Pretty decent fight, I reckon. What do you think, Tech folk?
I think it's another great fight on a fantastic card. Closer than everybody expects. I don't think Otto Wallin's any mug. Left-handers, make your own opinion on whether Joshua's got a good record against left-handers.
Well, you could say he's been training for Southpaws for the last year and a half or something, so why not continue and get it out the way?
Yeah, I don't know who his sparring partners were. It would be nice to know. It's probably out there somewhere. Joshua, the big question again is psyche. What's in his mind? I know that you feel he's over timid. I think he's more of a bide his timer now. Late stoppage for Joshua. Wallin stop late, or goes the distance, and then it could be either way.
Yep. Yeah, I think it has definitely the potential to be a very technical fight. I've heard a few people say Otto Wallin's aggressive because the only fight they've ever seen of Wallin is Tyson Fury. It's a bit different when you've got your opponent cut in trouble. Yeah, you got to be aggressive to try and take advantage of seeing red. But Otto Wallin doesn't usually fight like that. I think I mentioned it before years ago. He took on another prospect at the time who I'd picked to beat him. His name was Adrian Granat, another Swedish heavyweight. And from then on was when I thought, oh shit, this Otto Wallin's actually pretty technical. His feet aren't that fast, but he uses range quite well. He's very upright and uses a high guard, leans back for his defense. He beat Dominic Brazil, who hits very hard. He outboxed him. That's one that I kept forgetting about because I kept saying, we haven't seen Otto Wallin in there with a heavy puncher, but Dominic Brazil can actually punch pretty hard. So I think he hits at least harder than Tyson Fury. So he has been in there with guys who can punch, but not guys who can punch as sharp as Anthony Joshua. Now, I have mentioned in recent times that I do think Joshua has some mental hurdles to get over at the moment, but at the same time, I understand that he's trying to lengthen his career, become a boxer more than a boxer-puncher. And it seems, just from interviews that I've watched, he seems a bit conflicted between what he wants to do and pleasing the fans. Because the fans want to see the puncher back, don't they? Of course. Now, some comments from Jarrell Miller in the press conference kind of riled Anthony Joshua up, along with the fact that Otto Wallin says, I think he's peaked and he's on the slide. I'm here to help him out with that. But a bit of anger from Anthony Joshua, a bit of spite. It's a long way from the fight. I think he needs that kind of thing to help him get into that I want to do some real damage kind of mindset. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, I think this, similar to the Tech probe, I think it's probably going to end up either a late stoppage, it'll be a big right hand that finally lands after lots of frustration, or it's going to go to the cards. And depending what happens in the first half of the fight, Otto Wallin could have a chance at trying to pinch it. But I think Anthony Joshua will definitely be more considered the home fighter, I guess you'd say. Simply because he's gonna be the man who can make everybody a lot more money. So we'll see. But I think it's a good fight. I think it's a great fight. Anything more to add there, Tickfo?
I think even if there's not much difference in age, Wallin's the slightly fresher fighter.
Oh, definitely.
He's also he's been to the big stage before. So some of the people who fought Joshua that's their pinnacle. He's fought Fury before, so he's used to fighting big guys.
Yeah, under the big lights, he's not gonna do a Charles Martin, I don't imagine. Those big lights are too much for that dude the first time around.
I think his conditioning is. Otto Wallen's got a sort of extra fifth gear. He's a bit of an opportunist and versatile. He'll take advantage of whatever situation there is. He's a sort of just do enough to win the rounder.
Yeah. Yeah. Quite cerebral, quite a technician, and like you say, he can adapt to try and find opportunities to pinch rounds rather than, be dominant in any form in most cases. He's good at spoiling and pinching. So Joshua's got to be careful. There is the fact that many are talking about him training with Ben Davison, changing coaches again. It's like, well, it's not really changing coaches because he has been ticking over with Ben Davison when he's in England for quite some time now. So I don't think that's a massive deal. And to be honest, I don't really rate Derek James that highly anymore. After seeing quite a few interviews of him saying he thinks skills don't really matter anymore. It's all about athleticism. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, you're a dickhead. But anyways, it is what it is. And the last one, there wasn't anything more you wanted to add on there, Chick-Folk?
No, mate.
No, we're good. Sweet as. Alright, and the last one, the Parker v. Wilder fight. I like this fight, I really do. It's a fight I liked many years ago when it was being spoke about when they both had belts. The fight never got made because there just wasn't enough money in it. People say Joseph Parker went to Wilder's fight and then dropped his nuts. It's like, no. He went to Izu Yagano's fight against Dominic Breazeale, and Wilder versus Washington happened to be the main event. He met him in the changing rooms afterwards. They had a talk, and there was an offer made to Joseph Parker. I think it was $750K US for a unification fight. So Parker went, no, thanks mate, but no thanks. I'll go and see Joshua for 10 times that. And that's what we got. So anyways, it doesn't matter now because we have the fight. I do think pretty much everyone is favouring Wilder in this fight. I'm favouring Wilder in this fight myself as well, but I'm quite apprehensive about my pick. I'm not going to make a proper prediction as yet, but I think the style matchup is really interesting, coupled with the history of the two fighters. I've heard quite a few Americans say Joseph Parker is washed. This will be an easy fight. And I'm like, how can you be washed at 31 years old? It's not like he's been knocked out 1,000 times. I mean, he's been stopped once by Joe Joyce, and he still got up at the end of the fight, and he was very tired. It was 11 rounds of accumulation. I've heard people say if Joe Joyce can knock out if Joe Joyce can knock out Joseph Parker, then how the hell is Joseph Parker not going to get knocked out by Deontay Wilder? I'm like, if Joe's light, he can use his feet to avoid the right hand. When Wilder misses, he can make him pay with fast combinations and then get back out. Don't hang around at the end of Deontay Wilder's range. Move your head as you come in. Bob's your auntie. That's how we can do it. Will he do it is another story. But everyone, of course, is always wary of the equalizer Deontay Wilder has. He doesn't have the boxing skill. He doesn't have fast combination punches. He does that right hand he throws is actually pretty fast in a single punch when he throws it. But what else is Wilder going to do? It's not like his jab, I think, is that great. It is better than it used to be. Is he going to jab to the body? I think is a good idea from Wilder. Step into the jab. But last time I saw him do that in the third fight against Fury, he was gassed in 2.5 rounds from doing it, putting mustard on the jab. So I don't know. This is a real good fight, I think. let's have your opinion.
Gosh, I think it's pretty close that a lot of people have shoehorned Wilder in for the victory, but I think Parker's got a chance. Where's his elbow at? Do we know about Parker's elbow?
Both of his elbows are good. He had the surgery on them, had the bone fragments removed a couple of years ago.
Okay. Well, he should have seen an awful lot of Deontay Wilder on video every fight, and he's probably been at a few of them.
Yep.
He sparred with Tyson Fury, who's fought Wilder more than anybody else. So he should have quite a lot of info on Wilder. Wilder's not famous for his adaptive training, they say.
I hear he doesn't do road work, he hates running. Not surprised with those skinny legs.
You know, people might take a view on that, but I've issues with his strength and conditioning and programming have been raised, though. I wonder if Parker shouldn't have the knowledge, like in that respect, shouldn't have a slight edge. We haven't seen the best of Parker lately. Who did he look good against recently?
Parker looked pretty good against Simon Keane. That wasn't exactly great. Opposition, he blew out fighting Pilo in a round before that. It's not really that world level either. It didn't look great against Jack Massey, but he got the win. And before that was the Joe Joyce stoppage. So.
Okay.
But yeah, I have mentioned it several times already to you, but I think if Parker comes in light, he's got a lot better chance. He came in against fighting Apelu a lot lighter, and he looked a lot sharper. His feet were moving nicely, his punches looked quicker in combination, and he was using angles left to right. I'm getting messages from Hannibal saying, "Get closer to the mic, techophobe." Sorry, mate. But you good?
On Hannibal, there's something wrong with his hearing, I think.
You sound loud and clear now. Can you hear that, Hannibal? Anyways,
Wilder, what's he coming off the back of? He's lost 3 times to Fury and then beaten Hellenius.
Yeah, and it's what 2 minutes 45 seconds in the ring in 2 years. So yeah,
lost twice and drawn once.
Oh, lots of people say he lost the first one too. I'm not going to hold it against you. I thought he probably won that one too, but nah, that's a draw on the books. So yeah, you know what's Wilder's punch resistance going to be like? It's not like he got hit with anything from Hellenius, so we don't know. And the fact of the matter is, if he does beat Joseph Parker, that's only going to be the second best opponent on his record. And it will be his best win, won't it?
I think Ortiz is the closest you're going to find to Parker that's fought him, and that's not very close.
Indeed. And, you know, what's his name? Charles Martin dropped Ortiz with jabs. Andrew Ruiz dropped him pretty easy a couple of times, wasn't it? You know, so I don't know, did Wilder break his chin? I don't know if he was always that not durable. So who knows, man.
Parker shouldn't be. I mean, his chin. He's been beaten by one person, Joe Joyce. I don't think we should. You know, he's been knocked down before, but he's got up, as you've said.
Yeah, well, he he got floored once legit by Dillian and then once with a head clash. That was called a knockdown, and he got knocked down that one time by Joyce at the end of the fight, and that's the only 3 times he's been down. None of the times he's been absolutely sparkoed. He hasn't been asleep, so...
I think one time he was down, it was ruled a slippage on the advertising on the wet board against Chisora, was it?
Oh yeah, he did get knocked down against Chisora too. Actually, the first fight, in the first 2 seconds of the fight, Chisora come across and over the top flattened him, but he got straight up.
Ruled a slippage, and he complained it was a slippage.
You sure? I'm pretty sure it was ruled a knockdown.
Okay.
There might have been another slip in that fight. Got me wondering now. Pretty sure.
Quite close to the beginning of the round.
Yeah, it was the first round of the first fight. I remember that much, and it was Derek came straight across the ring. Threw overhand right and down went Joe straight away. What is it? This.
Maybe he complained back of head, but it wasn't. I don't think it was ruled.
It was slightly on the back of the head, kind of behind the ear, but that was because Joe put his head down, put his hand up, and put his head down. He got caught, so it was his own fault. Simon King, Frank Abelu, Derek Chisora 2, Derek Chisora 1. There it is. Let's have a look at the scorecards because it'll tell us. Yep, 10-8 first round. We got 10-8. The other 10-8s. 10-9, 10-9, 10. No other 10-8s in that first fight. But he put Derek down a couple of times in the second, didn't he? Let's have a look.
How much do you think Joyce caught him in that fight?
Oh, is accumulation kind of damaging his chin? I don't know. Most of the shots that Joyce landed, I didn't think looked that heavy. Some of the punches that Joe was landing actually looked like they were punching harder. The way Joe Joyce's head was snapping back. But there was a few. I think most of the punches that went to the body were the most damaging from Joyce. Those body hooks and the straights to the body. Here we go. Joe put Derek down in round 4. He put him down again in round 7. And that was all the knockdowns. 2 knockdowns, I think. Yeah. So, I know Derek Chisora doesn't go down easy. He's got a pretty decent level of durability even now, but he can be stopped by heavier punches. Joe couldn't stop him. Has Deontay Wilder faced many big punches? I'm not quite so sure. I think Ortiz is probably the biggest puncher that he's faced. And he got tagged a couple of times by Ortiz. I think in both fights I had Ortiz winning on the cards and then he gets stopped. Same with Gerald Washington, same with Artur Spilka. So I expect this fight might do something along the same lines. The first 3-4 rounds, Parker might be clean sweeping and could get caught with something, could change the direction of the fight, could stop the fight. But I don't think if it gets past round 8 or 9, I don't think there'll be a stoppage. Full stop. I think if Wilder's going to stop Parker, he's going to have to do it before 7. I don't think Parker... I don't know, maybe Parker might have enough in the tank if he comes in light. We saw him do quite well at the end of the fight against Dillian White and put Dillian down in the 12th round. So, I don't know. I think a lot's going to depend on what weights they come in. Wilder especially too. If he comes in heavier like he did in the third Fury fight, I think he's going to gas out because I think Joseph should have more volume than Fury. But if Parker comes in heavy, that volume's going to drop from round 4 or 5 on. As for the tips from Tyson Fury, there's only some of the stuff that he'll be able to utilise because he's not 6'8" and 270 pounds. He might outweigh Wilder by maybe 20 pounds or something like that. So I could see Wilder possibly, when he ties up, maybe not trying to push down on Parker too much because Parker might just stand up and lift him up. I don't know. But Parker doesn't tend to put his head down low anyway. He tends to smother in close and get his neck against the neck, as you're supposed to, so no punches can land. I think that one's a real interesting fight, and I'm looking forward to it. We'll see more and get into more predictions further down the track when we get closer to it. You have any more to add there, Tech-Folk?
No, just another great fight. A lot of these, 4 or 5 of these top fights, you would be happy to see just on their own.
Indeed.
Wilder. Let's see what's left.
Yeah, that's it. The inactivity and the possible long-term damage from the knockdowns. And Joe Parker, is he fighting too fat? Is he really washed at 31 years old? Questions to be answered on the day of reckoning. And of course we had the announcement for Fury v Usyk, 17th of February. Anything to talk about with that for you yet, Techophobe, or are you just concentrating on this 23rd card for now?
For now, I'm concentrating on the 23rd card, but another great fight. Let's see. I expect this time it will actually happen. Fury. Let's see how much he's got. I think Usyk will not have missed a day's training in his life.
No.
And I wonder if Fury's move about style suffers as he gets older and fatter.
Yeah.
I don't think Usyk will be fat anyway. Usyk's grown into the heavyweight role very nicely. It didn't take him long to get to Joshua, who was very highly regarded before that.
Yep.
So I think people underestimate him at their peril.
Indeed. All right. Yeah. At this stage, I'm just glad that fight's been made. I was initially favouring Fury prior to seeing the state of the fat bag of milk in the Francis Ngannou fight, but I'm kind of at the fence at the moment, and I'm just gonna wait and see, because like Techphobe says, we know Usyk's going to be in tip-top shape. I don't think the dude's been fat in a day of his life. Who knows what kind of shape Fury's going to be in, but if he doesn't have a rocket lit under his own ass after that scare against Francis Ngannou, then he's an idiot. But he's an idiot anyway, of course, but he's a good boxer. Let's see how serious he takes Usyk. Is he just going to not bother and throw his legacy away? After all the shit he said, he's going to look like an absolute idiot if he does. Or is he going to come in professional shape? Shit, will we see him at 250 pounds for the first time in, 8 years? It'll be probably his best idea to get into decent shape, but it's only 6 weeks away, isn't it? So I can't see that happening. To do so, he'd have to be on a diet and he wouldn't be able to train properly. Anyways, I'll have a quick look through some comments here. What do we got? Steven in the house. What's up, man? Fury trains properly. I got him. Yeah, that's the kind of thing, isn't it? By UD, he says though. Yeah, I don't think he can knock Usyk out. Honestly, it's going to take somebody with great power to land something, and I don't think Fury has great power myself. Oh, that I did mention that actually. If you'll go and watch the press conference for Fury v Usyk, there is Fabio Wardley on the commentary team there, and I learned some stuff about him. I didn't know he'd sparred Olexander Usyk a lot. So he's done a lot of sparring with Usyk. He's also done a bit of sparring with Tyson Fury. So Fabio was asked, "You've sparred with both of those guys. Who hits harder?" So Fabio's answer was, "It might not be very fair because I've sparred Usyk a lot more than I've sparred Fury, but Usyk is the one who's hit me the hardest in sparring." So, a little info for you. You know, Usyk doesn't hit that hard. It's a well-known fact, but he might hit harder than Fury. So, Fury still don't hit that hard. He managed to knock out Deontay Wilder twice without being able to knock the skin off a rice pudding. So, how's he going to stop Usyk? Swing those pillows. Alright, what else have we got here for some comments? Hey, Jameson in the house. Nanu. Good to see you, man. Fury's legs are gone. Yeah, well, that's another thing that many have mentioned. You know, having a lifestyle that Tyson Fury does, being such a big man and blowing up a lot between fights, it's got to be hard on those long, skinny-ish legs, eh? Carrying 270 to 300 pounds around all the time, especially if you're running and training. Tyson does do a lot of road work. That's got to be heavy on your knees, man. Heavy on your ankles. So it's quite possible that his legs might be going. But it's quite possible he wasn't in very good shape because he didn't take Francis Ngannou seriously either. Against the likes of Dillian White, he didn't really have to move his feet much because Dillian was even more stationary than he was. So, hard to take a judge from that one. His feet looked okay in the third Wilder fight, but once again, it's not like he was boxing anything like the old Tyson Fury from the first Wilder fight. He's changed his style, and that might be due to being much heavier ever since then. Weight is a factor. Thoughts, Tikafo, on that one?
You're exactly right, Jono. The weight of Tyson Fury is a concern now. Ngannou looked very good anyway, but and was big enough to push Fury when Fury pushed him. Usyk would be small. That is a key factor in this fight. Will be the referee. Will the referee allow Tyson Fury to get away with all the dirty leaning and pushing, and actually at times shoving, whipping, all kinds of things, flicking out how he does flick out his jab hand and then holding it away when he's under attack, holding the opponent at length,
measuring.
So,
yeah.
How much of that the referee allows? The fight's being held in Saudi Arabia, is it?
Yes.
Neutral ground, will Tyson Fury be the
I wouldn't be surprised if Usyk ends up the favourite. The Saudis like him, they like his attitude, plus the fact that he's got 3 belts plus the ring magazine, so he should be really the A side, shouldn't he?
You'd think so. Tyson Fury certainly won't sell himself as the B side.
Well, yeah, and saying all this though, for Tyson Fury to sign that contract, he might have stipulated that he has to be the A side and all that stuff. So who knows?
Yeah, Usyk's either way happy being the B side as well. So
He just wants to fight. He's a legacy fighter, eh? He don't care about the pay. He doesn't care about squat. Just get me in the ring with that big bag of milk. I love it.
He's been he just win this, win that, move forward, doesn't say anything too nasty. He sort of held his head up relative to the trash talking and ped failing and get in trouble. You know what I mean? He's a good clean boy.
Yeah, not like Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury. What's James saying here? Holding the back of the head. Yeah, like he did with Steve Cunningham to knock him out. Hold his head and then smack him with the other hand.
Good point.
Elbows against Francis Ngannou. Yeah, there's another one. He's dirty. He does what he's got to do. But Usyk can adapt as well, just in a manner that works inside the rules.
May I add that I thought in the Usyk-Joshua fight, the second fight, Joshua, against his nature, I think was trained to do a couple of dirty moves, which he did. He did a couple during that fight, a bit of leaning, and Usyk adapted or managed it quite well.
Yeah. Well, shit, we had a look at the odds yesterday, didn't we, on that one? Because it had been... Let's have a quick look. What are the odds on Fury and Usyk? I imagine Fury should be the favourite. But you never know. I'm looking on Bet365, people, if anybody's wondering. That's where I find my best odds with boxing most of the time. Okay, what have we got? Scroll down to win fight. It's the 23rd of December. Be down somewhere. 17th of December. Next. That's the 27th. Where the hell is it?
Can I make
there we
an
go.
apology?
24th. Yes, go ahead.
It's to Hannibal. There's nothing wrong with his hearing, and thank you for the tip on the microphone.
You are coming through much clearer. It's good. 23rd. It's not the 23rd. It's the 17th of February. February 4th. February. Yeah, it comes up a day later because it will be Christmas Eve, and the 24th of February. Okay. Tyson Fury, $1.57, which is just over 1.5 to 1. And Usyk at $2.37. So you put $1 on, he wins, you get $2.37 back. Same with Fury. That's wider than I thought it might be at the moment, but I hope it gets wider because I might bet on Usyk by points yet. I don't know. I don't think it's going to go the distance either way. I think it's going to go the distance either way. Oh, we've got options for methods of victory even. This early, wow. So Tyson Fury by knockout is $4.50. It's 4.5 to 1 pretty much. Usyk by knockout is $7. Usyk on points is $3.50. And $2.55 for Fury on points. So you get more than double your money if you bet on Fury by points still. That's interesting. Have we got a fight to go the distance? Here we go. We got total rounds 10.5, so they're expecting it to finish in the 11th. Where's the go the distance? Fight to go the distance, yes, is $1.36. So that's what they're expecting. It's $3. $3 to not go the distance. That's the odds covered. All right, away you go, Techophobe.
Sorry, mate. Where was I?
I don't know. You were going to mention something when I was finishing the stats there, but
I've apologised to the world regarding Hannibal's hearing.
Oh yeah.
Floored you.
Yeah, he's younger than me. His ears can't be that bad. All right, what do we got? Fury has Christmas. What? Oh, Fury has Christmas at home. Well, yeah, it'll be filling his belly and emptying his nuts, I suppose. Happy time of year. Good for him.
It's just not. There is a real possibility we're going to have one athlete, one kind of mid-centric guy rock up. The older one with a full head of hair. Come on, Tyson, mate, sort it out. Give Jono a contact. He'll get an S&C man to you.
Yeah. I've got a cousin who's actually a strength and conditioning trainer. She used to work with Jeff Horn at times. Might be able to sort you out, Tyson. But no, seriously, don't call me because I think you're a dickhead. I just want to watch him box in the ring. I don't want to talk to him. He's a punk. Anyways,
they have really sort of shown themselves as chalk and cheese, haven't they? Tyson Fury has chatted this, he's chatted that. He's everything he's done has been with controversy. I mean, his fights with everybody, he's sort of down for the count each fight. Usyk has just kind of sailed through.
Yeah.
Points decision is the worst thing he's had.
Yep. He's it's funny, man, how people just disregarded him before he fought Joshua. You know? He's a cruiserweight. He doesn't hit hard enough. He can't do shit. Hello. Here we are. Skills count. Simple as that, Derek James. It's not all about athleticism.
We could ask about Joshua's chin. So Ruiz before had stopped him.
Yep.
But nobody else? Nobody else?
No. Not unless you go back to the amateurs, but that's different.
Okay. Had he been seriously stunned and buzzed by people?
I'd never seen him proper knocked out. He got stopped by Dillian White by the referee as an amateur. He got stopped by the referee against Ruiz as well, didn't he? So, I don't know. He kind of knew he was done in that Ruiz fight. So, people say he quit, but he knew he was done. There was nothing he could do. I kind of see that quit a lot different to the one from Daniel Dubois, where, he gets dropped with a jab and takes a knee.
There are several Dubois kind of quit issues. His knee, when his knee had a problem, he got hit, and his knee tore a meniscus or something, he says.
Yeah.
And with Joe Joyce, and I personally forgive both of those instances.
Yeah.
The one against Usyk, he was losing, so he quit on that occasion.
I agree. The levels of the quit are different. Yes, Anthony Joshua did quit, but he knew he was done. Dubois did quit against Joyce, but he'd got a busted orbital bone. Better to fight again another day. That's fine. But that one against Usyk, no. No, that's a bitch quit, that one. Anyways, I think that's probably about us covered anyway. Have a look at a couple more comments here. It says, Klitschko knocked AJ down. Yes, he did knock him down. I forgot about that one, actually. Fifth round. Yeah.
Who was that?
Adari? No, it was James Jameson. James Jameson. Mr. Nanu. Yep. Turkey and Charlie. I'm not. Oh no, Turkey. Yeah, I'm not sure what that means. Turkey and Charlie. But might be referring to something above. What we got? Fury has Christmas at home. Yeah, no, we haven't got any more new ones. Alright, that's about us with this look into the style matchups and the first thoughts, but I will be doing prediction videos closer to the fight. I shall be talking a lot about this card in particular. There will be announcements for what's coming on the February 17th card. I imagine we'll get a couple of announcements for that before the 23rd card, but I imagine some of the ones from the 23rd are going to be on that February 17th card as well, so they won't be able to announce anything until they've got results and check the fighters that are supposed to be on there for injuries and all that crap, but I expect there might be another card announced by the Saudis for the end of the Riyadh season, and once everything's sorted out, that might be where we get possibly Hrgovic v Joshua or Wallen, possibly Wilder v Joshua. I don't know which plan's going to come to fruition in the end. We're going to find out one way or another. So it's going to be a great Christmas. It'll be Christmas Eve here in New Zealand. I will definitely do a live commentary stream for the 23rd card, but like I say, it's more than 6 odd weeks away, or 5 odd weeks away now, so we'll see what happens when we get closer. Thank you very much for joining us today, Tech Bro. Appreciate your input, man. And everybody in the chat as well. James Jameson, Phil Carl Roberts, Adari as well, Stephen in the house. Did Hannibal drop in the YouTube chat? I don't think he did. No, he didn't, but he's around. And I think that's all us for today. So yeah, appreciate everybody with your input. Keep your eyes open on the channel. There will be more stuff to come. And we shall catch you all next time. Take it easy. I'm Jono from Big Boys Boxing. And I'm out. See you!